boys and girls.
My name is Miss Lisa, or Lisa Jo Yogi. I am here to bring you Storytime Yoga in your home.
We will be using movement and mindfulness
as we enjoy two of my favorite stories. All you need at home is a space where you can move and perhaps a towel. I have a yoga towel down here. It does not need to be a yoga towel. You can use a beach towel or a nice big bath towel. If you need to go find a towel, just simply turn this video off, find your towel, and come back, spread the towel down, and turn me back on. Let's get started. The first book that I want to share with you is called Bark George. It's by Jules Feiffer. You might have heard this story previously, and that's all right. Just like a great movie, the more times you hear it or watch it, the more you learn, the more you like it. So let us take Bark George and move our way through the pages. Bark George. George's mother said, should come a little closer. Bark George. George went meow. Well, we all know which animal goes meow. That's a cat. Let me show you cat pose. Come to all fours. Plant your hands shoulder width distance. Arch your back like a cat as you look towards your tummy. What do cows say? Meow. Let's move through the pose together. Ready? Meow. No, George, said George's mother. Cats go meow, dogs go arf. Now bark, George. George went quack, quack. We all know that ducks make quack, quack. Duck pose is next. Come up onto the balls of your feet. Separate your feet about as wide as your hips. And bring your thumbs underneath your armpits so you can make wings. And then we flap our wings and walk and make quack, 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 quack. And there's duck pose. Quack, quack. No, George, said George's mother. Ducks go quack, quack. Dogs go arf. Now bark, George. George went oink, oink, oink. You and I know that pigs go oink, oink. Pig pose is next. Pigs like to roll in the mud. Come down to your back, jaw your knees in towards your chest, wrap your arms around your shins, and roll side to side. And there's pig pose. You can make the sound that pigs make. Oink, 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 oink. Moving along. No, George, said George's mother. Pigs go oink, dogs go arf. Now bark, George. George went moo. We all know that cows go moo, so cow pose is next. Come back to all fours. Plant your hands. Drop your tummy, gaze forward as you say moo. Let's try it again together. Moo. Nice job. George's mother took George to the vet. I'll soon get to the bottom of this, said the vet. Please bark, George. George went meow. Cat pose, everyone. Meow. The vet reached deep down inside of George and he pulled out a cat. Cat pose one more time. Meow. Bark again, George. George went quack, quack. The vet reached deep, deep down inside of George and pulled out a duck. We remember duck pose, right? Quack, 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 quack. Bark again, George. George went oink. The vet reached deep, deep, deep down inside of George and pulled out a pig. Back to pig pose, everyone. Rolling around on your towel. Oink, 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 oink. Bark again, George. George went moo. The vet pulled on his longest latex glove. Then he reached deep, 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 deep down inside of George. And he pulled out a cow. Remember cow pose. Moo. One more time. Moo. Bark again, George. George went arf. I didn't show you dog pose yet. Dog pose, we actually call it downward facing dog. Plant your hands, tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. And you gaze back towards your feet. This is dog pose. And we all know dogs go arf, arf, arf. And there's dog pose. George's mother was so thrilled that she kissed the vet and the cat and the duck and the pig and the cow. She was pretty happy. On the way home, she wanted to show George off to everyone on the street. So she said, "Bark, George." And George went, "Hello." Here's hello pose. Hello. Why do you think George went hello? Do you think perhaps he ate the vet? Not really. The story is just fantasy. But I hope you enjoy the opportunity to learn and make some new poses. Let us move to our second book. This book is called It Looked Like Spilled Milk. This book is by Charles G. Shaw. I like to give him credit because he went through all the work to write this amazing book. Have you ever spilled your milk at home? My guess is you probably have. This story will help you to see the fun in spilling your milk. Now, of course, don't go spill your milk on purpose, but if it does happen by accident, keep this book in mind. It looked like spilled milk. Sometimes it looked like spilled milk, but it wasn't spilled milk. So there's a blob of spilled milk. Let's just come down to our towels and make a big blob. There's no certain way you need to look. Just spread out on your mat. Take a big stretch. Sometimes it looked like a rabbit, but it wasn't a rabbit. Let me show you rabbit pose. Set your hips back down towards your heels. Let your forehead come down. Reach your arms up overhead like ears. Then pick your head up. Sniff side to side. Sniff side to side. Maybe I should take this pose facing you so you can see it a little better. And there's rabbit pose. Nice. All right, what else might the spilled milk look like? Sometimes it looked like a bird, but it wasn't a bird. So birds have wings. So we'll flap our wings like a bird. Yeah, and you can stand up all the way. I'm not going to stand up too high because I'll cut my head off. But bird pose. Yeah, enjoying flight. Nice. Sometimes it looked like a tree, but it wasn't a tree. Tree pose is a fun one. We get to practice our balance. This time I am going to need to stand all the way up, so it's going to cut my head off a little bit, but I think you can still get the idea. We'll stand on one foot, bring the other foot up, place the sole of the foot. You can have your toe down or you can slide your foot up closer to your knee, and then you reach your arms up to the sky like branches, and that's tree pose. I am standing against a wall, which helps me find my balance. But you can come away from the wall as well. I'm going to take this on the other side. And your branches, they can be falling branches. You can think of a pine tree. Again, you can't see my arms. There's pine tree, maybe a weeping willow. Whatever tree comes to mind, that's the tree that you should make. So that's tree pose. Sometimes it looked like an ice cream cone, but it wasn't an ice cream cone. So an ice cream cone, our body is the cone, and then make a big circle overhead. That's the ice cream. Now again, you can stand all the way up, and then like a cone on a hot summer day, which it's not, begin to melt slowly, slowly, melting all the way back down to your towel. That's ice cream cone pose. Sometimes it looked like a flower, but it wasn't a flower. Flower pose is a fun one. Sit down, bring the soles of your feet together, and then reach your hands underneath your legs like petals on a flower. And here the flower is open, and then we can close up our petals. There's flower pose. And then open, close, and open. Flower pose. Nice. Sometimes it looked like a pig, but it wasn't a pig. Do you remember pig pose? I bet you do. Rolling in the mud, there's pig pose. Nice. Sometimes it looked like a birthday cake, but it wasn't a birthday cake. For birthday cake, we are going to make candle pose. Coming onto your back. We're going to use our hands to support our low back, and then lift your legs up to the sky. You can even roll right up. Do you see how I'm supporting my low back? And then your feet, your toes make the candle, the flame. Well, that's candle pose. Nice. It's a fun one. Sometimes it looked like a sheep, but it wasn't a sheep. Sheep are very low to the ground, so we're going to come to all fours, but then bring your forearms right down to the earth, so you're low to the earth. And as the sheep walks, the sheep goes, ba, 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 and that's sheep pose. Sometimes it looked like a great horned owl, but it wasn't an owl. Owl pose, owl can be perched on a branch, and then owls have big eyes so they can see in the dark. Owls are nocturnal, meaning they sleep during the day and they're awake at night. So they have a very keen eyesight, keen meaning they can see very well at night. So there's the owl, and the owl goes, woo, 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 woo. There's owl pose. Sometimes it looked like a mitten, but it wasn't a mitten. Look at the mitten. Do you think you can make that shape on your mat or on your towel? Just lay down, and then you want to bring your hands to the side, making that little mitten shape. Now again, there's not a right or wrong way. It's just about moving your body. Sometimes it looked like a squirrel, but it wasn't a squirrel. Squirrels like to eat nuts, right? And they scurry about, scurry meaning moving quickly, looking for their nuts. So here's squirrel. He picks up some nuts. And they're quick, they move quickly. Maybe you can move all the way down your mat to one end, find some nuts, and then move all the way back to the other end. That's squirrel pose. Sometimes it looked like an angel, but it wasn't an angel. I like to think of angel pose as the opportunity to make a snow angel, even though we're not in snow. So coming down on your backs, arms are alongside your body, open your arms overhead and your legs wide, and then close. Open and close. Open and close. There's angel pose. Sometimes it looked like spilled milk. But it wasn't spilled milk. It was just a cloud in the sky. And maybe with your arms you can make a cloud. Clouds have so many lovely shapes. And just think of floating off, floating away. And there's your cloud pose. That's our story. It looked like spilled milk. I hope you enjoyed both stories today and moving your body mindfully through these different fun poses. Tune in again. I'll have 2 more stories for you next time. Again, my name is Miss Lisa or Lisa Jo Yogi. Find me here on my YouTube channel, Lisa Jo Kramer. Thank you. Talk soon. Bye.